Okay, everyone, this is Fran Lewis, the Queen of Restream, and I have my guest, finally, Joe Clifford, and we're going to talk about his book, which is right here, The Skeleton Theory. I have an extra copy that I've already given to somebody that's reading it. So this
Thank
is
you.
really very interesting. So let me put my other glasses on so I can actually see. And it's based on the Mandela effect. And believe it or not, Nelson Mandela was around when I first started to do my radio show, and he was on. Did an hour
Awesome.
with me.
Well, that proves,
A
I
lot,
guess.
so did Wayne Rogers, so did a whole bunch of other people. The Mandela effect is a psychological phenomenon named after Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa. Mandela effect refers to collective false memories of events that did not occur. And I'm not going to tell you what they are. Psychologists suggest that false memories, confabulation, chanceable, and source confusion may explain this phenomenon. And there are a lot of people that actually believe in this stuff
Oh,
too,
yeah. Yeah.
which
Well,
makes it even better. So, explain chapter one, the first scene with your
let's see. We get to meet
with Jericho Kane.
Jericho. Yeah, he goes by Echo because he doesn't like his God-given name from his mother. I don't like mine either, Joseph. So I get to sneak that in there. And what you had was somebody who's
So
basically
tired.
sent himself into exile because of his failure to capture his daughter's killer. And yeah, he learns how to the book was originally titled Mandela Effect, but there's so many books with that title. He changed it to Skeleton Theory, which is what's the word? Synonym, which is just like it. It's early out here. You got to remember before seven.
Now, this gets more interesting in that first chapter. It
I
does.
hope so. I'm working
Yeah.
on another book now,
Well,
and I'm trying to.
Jericho questions what happened to her, and who is Russo, and what's his connection to Jericho?
Well, we're following pretty straight Joe Campbell or maybe Christopher Vogler, who made it a little easier in the hero's journey. You have the quest. Anyway, if you know about the hero's journey, it
Mm.
fits that mold pretty great. Russo's his cop buddy, who's still on the force, as Jericho has been uh, put on leave for having used excessive force. Was one of the suspects of the case.
It was at the time I couldn't put the book down,
Yeah.
and yesterday I had to have something done, that thing with my whatever. So I
Yeah.
bought the book so I could read it. You know what it is? They don't realize when somebody walks in that they have a brain, and doctors' offices talk to you as if you don't.
I
I
know.
understand everything. That's what scares them even more. So now we have um, who is Russo, and what is connect, and what is reflection. What happened as a cop that went wrong?
Well, and involved a case with a serial killer.
Yeah,
Um, and initially, the suspect they had, Jericho, like some of the cops were doing in San Francisco back in the day, used a little excessive force. And, with climate the way it is today, it seems like a nice way to comment on both violence and the lack of really uh, ownership by the offender.
and then you know what was really sad? Page 5. He was trying to find Beth, and then she gets hurt.
Yeah, yeah,
I felt so bad. Here he is trying to do something good, and he winds up
yeah.
nowhere. That's so sad.
Well, yeah, I mean, that shines a light on my attitude towards life. Really, it's not hope for the best and expect the worst, but it's eh, expect the worst and feel good if you get a few minutes off here and there. Of course, when you're writing first person, it's not exactly
Yeah.
you, right? And that confuses people. They really do. They put you as the character because you're the one writing. I've gotten yelled at because I said something in a Jay Porter series that offended a Catholic, and I was like, it's not me. I'm not the one saying this. My character saying it. It was treated as character. What you treated my character? Like you never talked to me again, which is cool. I mean, when people attach themselves to a project or writer so much that they are affected like that, it's terrific. When I
The
finished
chapter
reading,
one really made me cry
I'm sorry.
before the train tracks. I was like, I didn't know which end. I had a lot of tissues for this book, a lot. So the guy is beating the blank out of a hooker, and I was watching programs yesterday, on LA Law and some other programs, and everyone is bringing this out that the hookers are getting beaten up on the street. There's one that got beaten up in New York in the city, and that
Uh,
seems to be the primary focus.
yeah, that's a TV
Yeah,
show. That's what they're doing. Like it's always surprising when somebody watches a show like that or reads a book like mine and finds themselves offended by like I'm pretty sure it's clear what's happening when going into this, but I also don't want to hurt people's feelings.
now this gets more interesting here. In chapter two, I know that when I lost my sister, when my sister was killed,
I'm sorry.
I can't tell until somebody, I watched him do it, and it was scary. She was in hospital. She was supposedly had a heart attack, but I know she didn't. And I know that the person she was married to pushed her. And that's why she had the traumatic brain injury. And she was in the hospital. And when I walked into the room, the guy that was the nurse said to me, she's going to go anywhere. I said, first you, of course, get out of my sister's room. I don't trust you anymore. It was the most horrible hospital I'd ever been to. I was there every day from the Bronx, 6:30. It cost me $500 a week just to travel back and forth because I don't drive. And I was there every single day, and I watched this happen. So that does happen,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's scary. And he sat there with a smile on his face. I said he brought his girlfriend to the funeral, brought his girlfriend to the unveiling the year after.
Jesus.
I said, you know what? Someday it's going to be you. So, as a grieving parent, the loss of a child is horrible. Seriously.
It's the one
There's
biggest
a,
fear.
yeah. So, how did you create this chapter? It says SPF officer accused of planting evidence, and
Yeah,
that's on the news today too.
that's pretty much daily event, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I tried. It's written from a cop's point of view, which is not something I usually do. I usually go from the criminal's point of view. I guess because every my book's sort of a criminal, so that's kind of a cop out.
It's really scary. So, who is Trevor, and how does that spiral into more problems for him?
Interestingly enough, that's a
Actually, I
character
like the bad
from.
guy.
I wrote him as a character in
Yeah.
a side story in All Who Wander, and so these it connects those two books in the same universe. He's just somebody who has lost his girls. He wants them back, and he's learned how to manipulate the Mandela effect and pass that knowledge on to those who need it. And yeah, he's just sort of the catalyst, the starting point for our novel story.
Who is this man? And what are the cards? And he hands him. What is in those cards? And who's in the house? And why does he join her inside? Because this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Going scene by scene is a little tough for me. I can't
Yeah.
recall that particularly, um, but give me a little more, and I can see if I can answer it.
Well, if you read page 27, this comment says, "I can help bring back your daughter."
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So that's
That is like, I thought about it. I said, I wish somebody could bring back my sister.
I wish somebody bring
I
back my
wish in
brother.
real life you could really do this. Yet
Yeah,
there are people that think it can really happen.
yeah. No, I mean, well, technically, right? Scientifically, it's
Hmm.
possible. That's what Einstein proved. But we don't, or Einstein left open the door left open, but we don't know. We don't know. I mean, every day, open the news, and who knows? Could have aliens here. Could have, you know, horses in hospitals. Lots of things can go wrong. That's what you
But
read about,
why does
right?
he go into the house? And this is where it gets interesting. As we find out, what is the Mandela effect? Did he really think that he could bring back the daughter?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Mandela effect, well, those two
Yeah,
different things. One is the Mandela effect, which I can explain, but the other one is, yeah, I mean, when you become desperate enough to rely on somebody in a gas station across the street from McDonald's on 3rd Street, yeah, you're pretty desperate. I mean, he says he wants his little girl back, and he goes through all the emotions I think we go through. Like, this is impossible, this is stupid, I can't do this. But until he sees meets uh, the lady, and they start to see this is happening. She too has lost her daughter, and I can't remember what.
well, if you
Sorry, I
look
had
at
this.
page 37, you see, this is how I review a book. I write in it all over the place so
Oh,
that
that's how
I
you
know where
should.
I want to start. Yeah, what's the matter?
Absolutely. So I got to charge my
I
back.
circle things so that I know what I want to ask. Here we go. I remember the business card Trevor gave me, Trevor Hunter, sales associate. But is that who he really is?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a little
He's
wink and
scary.
nod to All Who Wander because I make reference to the case in there. It's very subtle. If you're a fan of my work, you'll be tickled. But most probably will just pass through. But yeah, Trevor's the guy who came up with the rules or the latest set of rules and the way you can do it, and telling other grieving parents. And then Michelle, I think is her name. I've read a lot of books. She finds him the same way. This probably couldn't go on a long time. It's been going on years, months. With the Mandela effect itself, you were trying to play with time, the concept of time. Time travel is a really difficult thing to write about because you go back in 5 seconds and all that stuff. Like 30 years, you met your grandfather. So Mandela effect doesn't work quite like that. It works where you're able to sort of sense when it's present and you can kind of manipulate time. You can't go back hours, or you can't go back hours, a few days, but you can't go back like decades. You can't go back, in this particular set of rules, which Trevor, I've read a lot of books laid out. I hope that made some sense. I was charging my back at the.
Well, if you look at the chapter 5, they actually define it and how Trevor was it. But even before we lost Olivia, Isa said mental health was deteriorating. I don't like Isa, that's for sure. So, how did they convince him that they said the shipping container constructed with sturdy steel, a few pockets of rust, couldn't be refortified? How did they bring these people and how did they start to believe that this actually existed?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just Echo's first reaction is like, these people, but he's going to a grief group for one. He's like, I swear I'd never do this. I'm doing this for some goes to a
Mm.
grief group. And when he sees Trevor and normal person, normal response is like, get out of here. You're loopy. You're uh, crazy. But as we go on, he's supposed to, he gets desperate enough to check the back of the business card. And the back of the business card has an address. And he goes to that address, and that's where everything starts to happen. Is he meets Michelle, who shows him how it is possible for the Mandela effect to work. In this case, his motorcycle is stolen. But
Well, this
well,
is where it gets interesting because you told us, and I had to concentrate really hard. You told us in two timelines.
yeah, there's two
I
timelines,
know
and
that's what got me. I said, "Oh my God, wait a minute, where am I?" Then you go back to the past. Tell him about the time that he's on the force. Why was he fired in the present? And she's hot and determined to kill the man responsible for killing the young girls and daughters, but doesn't care if he's guilty or not.
yeah, that's the
I
part about
agree with
Echo.
her too.
Yeah, no, that's the part about Echo. I really want to
Yeah.
stress. Like he might be the bad guy. He could be the good guy. It all depends on which side of the fence you land on regarding the subject, especially police brutality and you know police malfeasance. Yeah, but it's a sympathetic character. I hope he's living in a shipping container by Third Street. It's pretty bad.
Well, there's a lot of questions about how police have been handling things
Yeah,
on the news. And this morning it said, this is down, that's down, the way they handle things are down. They actually want them to stop more people.
yeah, no, it's horrible.
It's
You
sad.
don't have lovely people on both sides. It's pretty
Yeah.
scary.
They also claim that most of the people that are stopped are Hispanic or black.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I
you
don't
look at
know
the
why the news is singling them out. It makes it really bad. You
what's
think
the
that there's a
percentage of
lot of
black people?
prejudice going on out there.
Yeah,
There is.
the extent of black people being arrested, black people being in prison, Native, Latinos. Yeah, it shows you that way higher percentage of their um, size gets. It's not according. It's not accorded correctly, right? Like we got 13% black in this country, and look at the percentage of them were in prison. It's not fair. It's a corrupt system. I'm not saying I have a better idea. I'm just saying I like to explore the loopholes, legality of. Because I lived like this for a while. This is the truth. It's like I don't know writing about a suburban dad. I know about writing about an ex-cop who screwed up and is living in a train, those big old van things, shipping containers. Yeah, that's the world I see. The way I see it. It's not a very rosy point of view, and I think that actually turns a lot of readers off. But it's funny to me because I find some of the humor or macabre to be pretty clear. No, but not people don't always pick it up. It's kind of some writing jokes for me and my three friends. But I do try to treat the writing a little light. As you can tell, I have this weird speech problem that's developed. And I don't know what it is. I gotta get checked out.
No, this really got me over here. Even though he's bad, I sort of like Sam. So Sam enters his life, and what is his downfall? Of course, of him, because what was Sam's primary motive? But you had to like Sam.
Yeah, I mean, Sam is also a character from All Who Wander. Very, very briefly, Sam and Trevor uh, connect in more peripheral ways in All Who Wander. It certainly isn't a sequel. Sam is just a kid, he's
Yeah,
a rich kid who's, we got those roles we have, right? The hero, the scapegoat, the clown. In every family we have a dynamic. And in his family, he was something else. But yeah, it's funny when you turn characters, you kind of give them more backstory. You feel a little bit like George Lucas, or of course, I'm not quite on that level, but yeah, it's fun to connect everything. I think it helps your writing process stay fluid if everything belongs in one universe. And all my books kind of do. And so Sam is a kind of the bad brother of a family, and gets in a lot of trouble. And the other brother does very, very well. There's other brothers. I'm sure you figured out Eastkin's pretty. It's a nice way to talk about Amazon, which is basically what I'm doing. Eastkin's is Amazon, and so yeah, I had Sam taking a job there, and things not going right because that's how they work, right? You do this, you want that, take a step, it all falls apart.
now in chapter 18, we meet some characters that you might not like, but they're interesting. Echo and Jacob, and there's another Cole Simpson Holmes.
Yeah,
Reminds me
yeah.
of my
Holston's home
favorite
is it's
program
kind
is
of
Sherlock Holmes.
yeah. He's the white whale.
Yeah.
Jacob was. I lost my brother in 2017, and I write about brothers even more now. Now that he's gone, I used to write about him a lot, and now it's all my books can kind of have a brotherly character. Josh was he was larger than life, and he's gone, and I don't think I'll ever get over it. So I sort of write about it, right? And I get to visit my brother that way, which is kind of nice because those two characters, when they're on the page, even though their name is Echo and Jacob, they share the Joseph and Joshua with religious names. Our mom, my sister got with Melissa Donsby Hobb. We get these biblical names, Joseph and Joshua, and of course that's what play happens in Skeleton Theory. I still want to call it the Mandela Effect. That's what we should have called it, but yeah, most of my decisions in this
Yeah.
industry led to my failure, or not failure, led to my current station, which is fine.
So who is Martin?
I'm sorry,
He's
Martin.
interesting.
I don't remember Martin. What does Martin do? I don't remember that.
It
Where's
says we
Martin?
tagged Martin. We tagged him. He was the police.
We have
He was
Mirko,
part of the police
Bruno.
force, I think.
We have Bruno. We got the cop, and that's
Yeah.
it's a lady. We got Michelle. No, I don't know Martin. I'd have to hear a passage longer than that.
You know what's really scary is if I'm looking at this and Jacob's voice and Echo, I'm sorry, the phone is snatched back, and there are so many dead bodies.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of nowhere, there's this first dead body, and then a second one, and the person that's killing them is said, "I feel the muzzle in the base of my head. I know the game is over." That's chapter 23.
I'm charging my back, so I can't exactly. I guess. Hold on 1 second. Let me get this
My
straight.
memory, I don't know who the gun is getting closer. I don't see Big John Harley grabbing it, 7-Eleven. I
Okay.
hope I kicked off the stone. It sounds like Big John. I don't know who's speaking. Maybe it's Jerome. This side of Freddie Mercury, I'm seeing stars.
All right. Hold on. Here we are. You give me a page number, and I will find out what's
Chapter
happening.
23.
Okay. Okay. Chapter
Hide
23.
behind the cars in the drop bin. I hear the click of a gun. I feel the muzzle in the base of my skull. I know the game is over, but it doesn't say who's speaking.
I think it's Jericho. I'm gonna look real
Where's
quick for you.
Jacob?
Let's see if I can
Echo.
do this. I guess.
Echo and Jacob. It's one of them that gets killed
All right.
there.
What page are we on?
Yeah.
What page?
Chapter 23.
23. Okay. Chapter 23 is gonna be a big chapter because I have a thing about the number 23.
Yeah.
Um,
This is so
yes.
sad.
Yeah. I mean, I try to. I'm writing. Books that move and entertain people. I take a little too long in my world building, but I'm fixing that. But this is, you want to
Yeah.
honestly, What I want is, friends, I'm not going to make it forever. No father does. And the great part about having kids now is I get to leave them like a written legacy if they ever want to get to know their dad, which is really cool. I wish I could say the same about my father. Um, but yeah, Cole Stinson Holmes uh, is a possible killer, and a possible killer is Sam, and a possible killer is really anybody in the book. The idea is to have, actions taken to be a good person, actions taken to do the right thing, and sometimes be bad, it makes you the bad guy. And it's a tricky area to navigate, but I love it because that's where I feel like I reside. I'm not particularly good or talented. I'm just enough, and I work with that, and that's okay. It took me a long time to realize that's where I was in my life. Um, when I was a kid, I was going to save the world. My mom told me I was great. Like every
Now we're
mother,
getting
you
to the
should.
good part. You came up with a title for each part. A snake
I like,
devours
yeah,
its
I
own
like
tail
that.
as the world slowly consumes itself. You have to
Yeah,
understand I love snakes.
I,
Whenever I went to the zoo, I had to see the pythons and the cobras and garter
yeah,
snakes,
I'm
and
nothing against them. I just, I don't
I
want to
thought they were
see them
really
too much.
cool.
Yeah, the title in this section, "The Snake in Its Tail." I mean, yeah, I think that explains itself, especially as it relates to Echo, goes to more and more extremes of what he's willing to do to have his daughter returned. Some of the things he's done are not necessarily kosher with the police department, but that's what he cares about his kid. And I think parents can certainly relate to it, but anybody who's lost something can certainly relate to it. It's a hard, no one's going to be here forever, right? Or just, and it's already happened for me. I'm stuttering. My steps getting slower. Like, it starts like a time, but it's at 55. You go, wait a second, get another 20 years. Like you think you're gonna have forever when you're a kid, and you don't. You only have this very short amount of time to be special with friends. It feels forever, right? Summer vacations feel like they go on forever when you're a kid because you only have so much life experience. You get to be our age, my age. But years just change. Years, boom. It's 2027's coming up. 2027, any second now. Uh, and these are things I like to explore. It's probably pigeonholed me through my own actions, but I can't write unless it has that thing. That usually it's a addiction. It's a fraught relationship. I can't. I don't. I just anytime I try to write something not like that, I find it really really difficult. Like going against like two magnetic forces, right? And they're both positive and pushing each other. I can't get in there. And when I write about bad people or at least people who do bad things, I'm right at home because hello.
Well, I'll tell you something. It gets more interesting, people. Why is this reporter Noel Lee after the Echo King? Why does he constantly write something about him? It just
I,
seems that he wants to let the world know. And they said you didn't do those things, Michelle. Michelle said it's as if they're trying to frame him for some reason. Why?
well, we're not getting to
That makes it more
Russo.
interesting, by the way.
Well, when each Mandela effect happens, these little shifts, it can render people friends, it can render people enemies. You don't know quite when you shake it up what you're going to get. You're not going back in a lot of time. It's not you're not going back in time to kill Hitler kind of thing. It's you got a short amount of time if you learn how to manipulate this. And the evidence, to back this up, of course, the quantum mechanics, which I had to learn just enough to write the book. But it's trippy stuff. It's really weird. I think that's what Einstein called spooky science. I All right, what was
This,
the question again?
the,
Question
the
on what?
scary part is throughout the book, who is Cole Stinson Holmes? He confessed, but the poor guy, nobody seems to live very long in this book.
No, my books are not happy people.
I know.
I find so much humor in my books, and I'm
Yeah.
always amazed when people don't see it. I mean, I put some genuinely funny lines, but I guess I set the stage for it to be so somber. And saying something I don't have a lot of time left. I come across as rather somber, which is unfortunate because I want to quote Jerry Seinfeld here. I am a man perfectly happy with hating everything in life. I think that's his quote. I hate everything, and yet I'm perfectly happy. I don't view the world like that. My job's not to be a dad and an artist. And, thanks. See you later. I find that funny.
This is so scary. So throughout the book, except for the last chapter, which I'm not going to tell anybody, that really made me like really sad.
Yeah.
Did anybody else go back in time? Would anybody else be able to deal with the Mandela effect? Did
Yeah, I
anybody
mean,
else?
I don't know about you, but I remember Nelson Mandela, clear
Yeah.
as day, being killed and being anointed president. Uh, I remember Smokey the Bear. I remember how you spelled the Bernstein Bears. I remember New Zealand was on the other side of Australia, and a bunch of this stuff I remember exactly like it's like who doesn't remember Ed McMahon and Publishers Clearinghouse and the Big Check? We all remember that. It never happened. It never happened. He never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. So I don't. I see enough in my own life that is inexplicable. So have you probably, right? Little things, and you can chalk it up to we don't know. We don't know what's there. But everything in the book is grounded in a scientific accuracy of the Mandela effect. But I'm not in quantum physics, but I'm not by any means an expert in either of those fields. But I did not.
This is really scary, I'll tell you. Every chapter I got the shakes because of Jacob. I felt so bad. And then when you lose a child, we'll go to the last whatever, or somebody, it's scary. So I wondered, did Nelson Mandela really come back?
Yeah,
Is he really out there somewhere?
yeah. I believe he came back. I had him dying in prison,
He's not alive. I mean,
or the other way
I thought
around.
the purpose is for him to come back and do something.
Obviously, I'm gonna have to Google if he's even alive or not. He served as a plot point a year ago, but I don't. You leave a book behind, you leave a book behind. But as far as I know, Nelson Mandela definitely did not die in prison.
Now he gets kidnapped. He told him to go home, but who kidnapped him? And why does he walk into a trap? He was blindsided. I felt so
Yeah,
bad.
he's got some hubris.
Nobody's safe in this book, people.
Nobody's safe. He's got some. Echo's a fun guy, right? He's closer to the line of bad than anybody I've gotten. I think even with Jay Porter, but all these people want to do the right thing. That's what's so. They think they're doing the right thing. They feel like they're doing the right thing, and that's the part that's tragic to me. Is everybody thinks they're in the right. Everybody's the hero in their own story. So how do you get, I don't know, a different president? How do you get laws passed? That kind of thing. It's we're just advanced monkeys. That's all. Still advanced monkeys, and we're not out of the trees and doing the same stuff, picking and grabbing and throwing. I decided to pick, grab, and throw literature. Probably not the wisest decision, but
I have to ask this question. I'm going to throw one in. You did a lot of research.
all right. I
I
was going to tell
know.
this.
And I
Yeah,
did a lot of research too to make sure I understood it because lately I've been getting a lot of books that are like, huh? But before I forget, next Monday, the number one interior fashion designer in the world, Coward Wiggins, is coming on the show. And no, I don't pick the questions. He just moved into a mansion. It's gorgeous. He's gonna tell us what he went through the move and how you place your furniture and things in a house after you move. On the 26th, we have Tiffany Warren. And on the 27th, you're going to do the second one, Spy Lie and Defy. You're going to
yeah,
do that one?
yeah, yeah.
I got
Yep.
that memo. That's my favorite book. That is great.
Yeah.
And on the
That's
23rd, we have the authors of Scandal. And I am waiting for Peter James from England and
well.
Philip Margolin to give me the dates for there. They want Peter James only interviews with me live,
Oh, good.
nobody else. He's friends with the Queen. That's the fact. She reads it also, Queen Camilla.
Yeah.
But Philip Margolin also does it. The problem is I never know when they're going to have a date, and then sometimes they could change the date the same day as the date. That makes life very hard. What can
I
I
missed
say?
my day. When am I returning to the show? I'm returning when? On
Peter
20.
James is in Ilford, Exeter, I think, and
No, you said I'm going to be on the show again. I just got to remember what the date is. What's the date for my show? Next show with you? 24th.
well,
The
I can't
date.
hear you.
Oh, sorry. The date for our next meeting is
Well, the date for the next meeting is August 27th at
perfect.
10.
All right.
Does that
Appreciate it.
work?
Yeah, yeah.
If it
Everything works. I
doesn't,
don't.
just let me. I can move it, but I don't know where. But
No, it
somewhere.
works. It works fine. I got a
I, I've
lot of
been, I've been. You know what?
things.
The last 2 weeks, people have been changing time. I can't. Once the date is set on Restream, if it's like a couple of days before I could change it, the same day.
Yeah,
So sad.
it's really difficult. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, they're. As a matter of fact, I just want you to know they're listening.
Oh, good, good.
Restream
Hopefully, they can
listens,
understand
and
me.
then they send me my statistics at the end, and they go, "Okay, no problem."
Oh, good.
They never
Good.
complain about anything that I do because I'm very particular. The last four pages are heartbreaking. And the Mandela effect that's part of the ending. I know that. It's
Yeah,
sad.
it's the monkey paw thing.
How would you define the skeleton theory?
Well, that's a down and out detective goes back in time to
Yeah.
kill a serial killer before his own daughter becomes a victim. And I've written that. I've written that so many times I memorized it.
Did
Yeah.
people actually think that they could? I mean, I know his daughter was, well, there was Sam and all the rest of them, and I felt so bad on that last two chapters. I want you to cry because it's so sad.
Yeah, it's
The
bittersweet.
last one, and what happens at the end, yeah. The last words on page 249, I won't read them. And then the last one on 256 is even sadder. So I know that other people are gonna die, and it's so sad. And Sam and Troy, everybody takes risks, and misjustice won't cease in the world, will it? And corruption.
Yeah,
You think there'll ever be a day? We thought about this a long time ago when everybody would just be happy and not want to kill anybody.
no, I don't foresee that happening. I mean,
It's sad.
you got eight people in the world on half the world's wealth, and somehow we're okay with that. We're okay with that. I mean, I've never been okay with injustice, and I'm certainly not okay with that. I mean, eight people, literally, you just lose your two fingers, and they own half the world's wealth. It's a corrupt system. Like the senator makes $180,000 a year. Look at the bank accounts. They don't even hide it anymore. It's all there. We live in a corrupt society, so you got to figure what the rules are and navigate them. I mean, playing by rules of a rigged card game, not going to get you anywhere. Of course, being a scofflaw, iconoclast, whatever you want to call it, and thinking that far outside the box isn't going to help you either. There's a narrow window which we have. Be aware and still be decent. It's not like a little escalator, right? And the airport, it's even tinier. There's not a lot to fit, so you got to get in there and stake your claim.
I taught for a very long time in a very tough school in the Bronx. Very tough. I never had
Yeah,
a problem. Well, after the first 2 weeks, one of my friends who passed away 2 years ago said, "You might be 5 feet tall, but you have the assistant principal said I have the teaching skills of somebody teaching 50 years." He said I was a natural. He said,
good.
"Now get tough." That did it.
Yeah,
These kids knew more bad words than I did,
yeah, yeah.
except for the ones I put on the board and defined. I really did. And that was the last time. As a matter of fact, these same students are part of my Facebook family
Oh, that's good.
to this day. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not that much younger. They're like in their 50s, early
yeah,
60s, and they're advocates, troubleshooters. You don't want to start with my
yeah,
students, but
yeah.
it makes me so proud to know that I didn't screw up. But they let
No,
me know, you were tough on us. I said, somebody had to straighten your butts out. You know how it is. But the respect I get every day, somebody texts me, "Are you okay? What's up? What are you up to?" And they listen to the show after.
that's great.
That's great. So, what would you say as a result of the final two chapters? You think people, even today, try to think that they can come back? Do people actually understand what the Mandela effect is or
Uh,
was?
I mean, those are two separate questions, right? I mean, do they believe anyone can come back?
Yeah.
Seven out of 10 Americans believe in angels. Yeah, I'm sorry, 8 out of 10. 7 out of 10 won't watch us while we're doing private things. A lot of people believe a lot of things. You can be a small percentage and still make up a lot of numbers.
Now, the last two chapters in the book, chapter 30 and chapter 31 and 32, how did you create that? Especially the last chapter of the book
All right.
was
Give
the
me a page.
saddest one. Chapter 32.
Chapter 32. All right.
Tell us if we have
Somewhere.
Ilsa. Hmm. And we have, I won't say who else. And the last page I cried.
All right.
Last
Well,
page
yeah, I mean, it's
256 I cried.
yeah, I mean,
It
when
was
you
so
write this,
sad.
you write this stuff and you kind of do get attached to, uh, you know,
That's so
you do get attached.
sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Life is sad. I mean, you eventually say goodbye to everybody you know, or they say
Yeah.
goodbye to you. I've had a lot of death in my family. We don't live very long. My father lived to 56. He was the oldest of our family, our family of origin. My mom died at 53. My brother died at 43. My sister and I are the last two remaining. And if you can tell, I've developed a sort of a maudlin, macabre sense of humor toward it because I'm not afraid to die anymore. I was for a long time. Actually, I'm not afraid to die. Uh, I don't want to, but I'm not afraid of it like I used to be. I was really terrified by it. And now I'm kind of, yeah, I've done my stuff here. I got two great kids, published a bunch of books, lower taking when you want to. And that's sort of when I get at my worst. I understand all the time. But it used to be when I was at my worst, I was, shooting heroin and living at a Skid Row hotel. So this is an improvement to just complaining, right?
So before we end, tell us about Spy, Lie, and Defy. Tell us how
Oh,
come
yeah.
that was probably so interesting because they've had some stuff on that on television that I
Oh,
watched.
that was great. That was
These women were great. I love them.
yeah. No, it was I got hired by a old buddy of mine in Miami, an
You wrote it
ex-cop
with
named
somebody else I know.
Yeah, David Juzik, and he's kind of playing the James Patterson role here, where he's got more than one of these, and he brings in other authors to help. I believe it's what he does. I always brought him to do this one, and I like most of the writing is mine. You can tell when I'm not writing, but the concept and the world and all that, that's all David, and so that's more his purview. He is that like, gonna write these about these women, and it's like it was really really fun. I mean, I never read like even female authors, like not out of any kind of chauvinism, but just I women to me have always been kind of mysterious. And I'm 55. I don't understand them better. I mean, I was divorced with, so that's what happens. But this was a chance to really get inside some heads, and it helped me. I mean, I've been the last 10 years. All I read now is women authors, uh, mostly domestic suspense. But it was great to get in the heads of these. I mean, you don't want to say too. You can't say marvelous and heroic
Uh-huh.
and too much. But they're marvelous. Heroic. If they didn't do what they did, we likely would have, uh, a fascist running the country. How bad would that be? Yeah.
So, what other than Spy, Lie, and Defy, what's next for you by yourself?
I'm working on two books simultaneously, which
Oh, goody.
I got one is well, one falls into some say my name. It's called Speak to Me, which is going along with it. I won't say a word, and actually some kind of weird, I think, commentary on my own mangled language. And the other one is called Paint Me a Picture, and that's the one I wrote. Paint Me a Picture, like 40,000 words. Stopped. It's urged. Real like 2 days. I wrote all this for this new idea about. I'm losing my mind, Fran. Uh, the other book, Paint Me a Picture, and then I went to the other book, which is the one about the artist. I mean, I'm losing it right now. I mean, my defense, it's 7:32. It's a little early. I get up early, but not quite this early. But yeah, I'm working on two books simultaneously, which titles I
Well,
cannot remember.
my book, When Liars Win, everybody's reading it
Good.
and everybody's commenting, but nobody put a review,
I
which
know.
is
Yeah.
perfectly okay because I don't
Yeah.
read it.
I'll try to get
I
that
get
done.
mixed reviews
Yeah.
about it because I think I did a great. It's 7 stories. I think I sent you one. I'm not sure.
I believe you did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 7 stories. 4 of them really happen.
Ah, yeah. I
I'm
like
serious.
that.
They really happen.
No, it's just nice that you get to play with
At the
truth and
end of the
reality.
story, you see the mirror, Mirabella, but her face is there this time. My publisher put the face of Mirabella at the end of each story to sort of note the last story really happened. It was sad. I
I'm
was
sorry.
dating someone for a long time. It was supposed to be permanent, but his mother didn't think I was good enough. I was an educator, had my first master's. I have 4 masters, my master's degree, and she didn't think that I was good enough because she didn't think that my father was rich enough to pay her the money to get him to marry this huge person, which I
Uh,
happened to meet out of nowhere. And my father was on the phone with her when I came home one day, and I said, "You're not going to pay her for me to marry her son. Hang up. If he doesn't think I'm good enough and can't find my father, my father was going to pay for his car, his education, everything." I said, "You don't pay somebody, I'll find somebody else." They made him hang up. Everything back then, when I was growing up, not too far away, was money. everyone looked upon you as if you had to have money. My dad owned a cleaning store on 225th and Laconia, and it was a very big, very good store. My grandfather bought 7 cleaning stores for each of his children, and my father, and his other children. And I had to work in that store on Saturday, or I didn't get my allowance. So I know how to clean bag and press. But
Yeah.
yeah, back then it was different. And I taught in this tough school, and the principal thought I wouldn't survive more than 5 minutes. I survived over 30 years. And I was only very young. I wasn't even 18 when I started teaching. I was really young. And the kids, I loved every minute of them. Then I became the reading staff developer because this lady in the beauty parlor said, "You have such talent to teach kids how to read." At the end of the year, everybody was on grade level. There was nobody behind. So I taught, it was the reading, I love, oh,
Yeah.
I came to school and the kids, the teacher said, well, they're not going to want to come. They used to sneak down to my reading group. And there were 3 teachers that tried to suspend them because they got in trouble in my reading group. They snuck down.
Yeah, there's the reading is not what it used to be. Everybody wants to write a
Yeah.
book and wants to read one.
They can't, and you know what? There was never a group I didn't do the same thing with each group. I did something different. But there was never a group that was bored because on the 3rd day, they picked what they wanted. As a matter of fact, you talk about the murder of Tupac Shakur. We talked about him. We did a whole thing on him before he died
Yeah.
because I let them tell me, I had to print out everything. So I let them talk about him, and they talked about Usher, and they talked about, well, any sport. I learned a lot about boxing and Goldberg. I said, on the 3rd day of the week, you could tell me what I want, except that it used to cost me hundreds of dollars in paper because I
Oh,
had to print out everything because I didn't have a blackboard in my room or anything. And there were no books for this. It was worth every minute.
yeah.
Just to know that they wanted to come down. Then when the
That's
new
awesome.
principal came, I realized it was time to go.
Yeah.
I have a principal's license, and she said I wanted her job, and she wasn't going to get along with me. So she made me the writing staff developer, which was
Yeah.
totally against the rules, but the writing scores went up that year. And then after that, I became the dean. I should have stayed there. But anyway, so where can everybody find out about you and your books? And make sure I get all of them.
Oh yeah, I mean joeclifford.com, you one stop for all your Joe Clifford needs. Yeah, joeclifford.com has my paintings, my music, my books. I have come very close in a number of fields. But yeah, it's all up there. www.joeclifford.com.
Well, this has taped
All
so
right.
longer than normally do 45 minutes.